Good evening, I'm Nikhil Naz. Now, how many times have you heard this before? An administrator decides to sack a coach simply because he refuses to toe the line. Be it cricket, hockey, shooting, boxing or wrestling, the sport may change, but it is the same old story in Indian sport. The latest episode is being played out on the hockey turf where Indian coach Paul Van Haas has been sacked simply because he ticked off the chief of Hockey India, Narendra Batra, during an international tournament. So is the ego of the hockey boss bigger than the sport itself? That's the big question on our show this evening. Joining me, hockey historian K. Arunamugam, and also joining us live is former hockey captain of the Indian team, Virendra Batra. Viren, I'll start with you, and the question that I asked right at the start of the program, do you think the ego of the hockey boss is bigger than the sport itself? Because as things are panning out, it seems to be the case.
I don't know about big ego or not, Nikhil, but bad decision, bad timing. Right now, we seem to be frittering away the advantage of having qualified the first for the Rio 2016 Olympics. This was a great opportunity to get stability to the team, to get a world-class coach. Paul Van Haas is not a first-time coach. He was we have to remember that he was the coach of the Dutch team that won the silver medal at the London 2012 Olympics. He comes highly recommended. So yes, they had a very bad result at the World Hockey League recently in Belgium, but I think we need to balance it out with the need for giving the coach time as well as stability for the team. I'm not sure whether this is the right time to make such a decision.
Okay, like you say, it's not the right time, and that's why I go back to it, Viren. It has all happened because we've got Paul Van Haas on record. He spoke to us a short while ago. We've been playing out his phone interview, and he said that one particular incident during that hockey league where he was there in charge of the team, Narendra Batra, the head, walks onto the field and starts passing instruction. As a coach, he didn't like it. So it then comes down to one person's whims and fancies against what a coach is trying to do. And like you mentioned, the coach had the best interest of the team in mind.
See, I firmly believe that everyone has a role to play. I genuinely believe that Mr. Batra is possibly the best administrator in Indian sport.
Why do you say that, Viren? Why do you say that?
There's a line that you draw. The coach takes care of coaching. Why do I say what?
Why do you say that Narendra Batra is the best administrator? Because the record doesn't seem to prove that. He's fired what now? We've got 6 foreign coaches in the last 11 months, and all of them who've been fired didn't have great things to say about him.
That's a separate individual issue. The exact issue why coaches were fired has never come to the fore. But in terms of the way the Indian teams prepare, the facilities to Indian teams, the men's team, the women's team, junior teams, the way camps are organized, the rewards and recognition that the Indian hockey team has been getting, the kind of money pouring into Indian hockey, that's possibly the Hockey India is doing better than any hockey federation across the world in terms of getting sponsorship, in terms of organizing the Hockey India League. But this is a major pain point, the sacking of 4 big foreign coaches over the last 3-4 years. So that's definitely an issue that needs to be looked into. Not the best idea to be sacking coaches at regular intervals. So although he's possibly the best administrator in Indian sport, I don't agree with the fact that we are sacking coaches so often.
Okay, so there are two sides to a coin, Mr. Arumugam. I'll bring you in. He says he's a good administrator because he's bringing in the money, doing best in terms of any hockey federation in the world. But does that suffice? I mean, can it absolve him from other misdemeanors? In this case, he's been firing foreign coaches. Most of them have been unhappy with the fact the way he's running Hockey India. Will that not go against him? And it then boils down to the same thing that we raised at the start of the program. One man's whims and fancies ahead of the entire sport.
You see, this is actually part of the cultural milieu that we have been going through in India. Every sports, as you said in the opening. But I completely agree with what Mr. Viren says. You see, he is one of the best administrators as far as Indian sports administration is concerned.
I need to leave now.
Especially in hockey, he has done many bath-breaking things. That's okay. But this is a one irritant that may spoil all his good work. The thing is that he has to draw a line between the technical things and non-technical things.
Okay.
Actually, I go even beyond sacking the coaches. I even suspect how the coaches are appointed. For example, take from Brasa, that time of course Mr. Batra was not involved. After that Michael Knox, after that Terry Walsh. You see, they were not the ideal coaches to coach a national team because they coached a national team 15-20 years before.
Right. But let's talk this
particular incident is a very right choice because just 1 year before.
So if he's the right choice, then hasn't he done the wrong thing?
You see here
by pushing him into the corner?
Actually, the thing 100% we don't know the facts, but whatever the facts we know, it transpires there is if there is a mistake from Mr. Batra, there is also equal mistake from the coach because
why do you say
he has to actually communicate. He says Mr. Volt, as far as his point of view is, Mr. Voltman told he is fired. Okay. So actually, the payment is done by the Sports Authority of India.
No, but that's technicality. That's technicality. I'll come to you, but I'm just going back to the incident. And Viren, final comments from you before we let you go. I'm going back to that incident. You've been a player, so you tell me. The coach there, he mentions, like I said, Paul Van Haas has said categorically in his phone interview with us that one particular incident is something that didn't go down well with Mr. Batra. He came onto the field, started passing instruction. The coach told him, listen, this is not your pace. You've been a player. Was the coach wrong in ticking off the chief of Hockey India?
You know, see, at this level, when you're dealing with when you're performing at international hockey as a coach, as a player, you will face many challenges. You will face many ego issues, and I think you need to be strong enough to withstand all these pressures and such incidents that happen. You need to be mentally really tough and strong, and the players now really need to be strong because again it's going to be another change, new coach, new methods, new training techniques, so they need to be strong. Everyone needs to be strong.
Sorry,
who's right,
just a
who's
clarification.
Wrong, it's debatable, but not a good scene for Indian hockey right now.
Okay, just a clarification. You meant mentally strong. Who should be mentally strong, the coach and the players, or do you think the boss should be mentally strong to take this kind of criticism on the field?
The coach, the coach at that point of time, because if that incident did take place, as you all are mentioning, I'm not sure about the facts in that case, but I think the coach should have been a little bit stronger, and such a decision should not be made on one incident.
But Viren, he's not making the decision.
I always believe in sitting across the table and thrashing out your issues.
He's not making the decision. He says he ticks off the boss, and it's the boss who's decided. He's not making the decision. He says he just ticked off the head of Hockey India, and it's the Hockey India boss who's decided to sack him after that, and he's been conveyed that by Ronald Oltmans.
Again, as I said, a bad decision and bad timing. I think more time should have been spent in thrashing issues across the table rather than directly sacking the coach.
Okay, Viren, thanks so much for your thoughts. We'll leave it at that. You need to go, but Mr. Arumugam was with you. Okay, I'm going back to that particular point. So you're saying that, you know, there are different technicalities, two sides to a coin, but this is a clear case of the boss of Hockey India overstepping his line.
See, as Viren also pointed out, there are so many things that is happening on and off the field. The coach is the guardian of the whole Indian hockey team.
Right.
They given the job to that. If something happens, he has to see the welfare of the team first.
So that's
exactly
what
he should not take it to personal thing.
He's not taking it personally. The thing is, he's been sacked. Yeah. He's not resigned.
He has been sacked. Last 5 days it is in the pipeline. The smoke is there. He would have given a explanation.
Okay.
It's because one side is speaking. Mr. Batra is giving whatever he has to say. The other side, nothing is coming. Only today he has told he has been fired. He would have also put up his views like every previous coaches. Brasa to this.
So, but all coaches can't be wrong. There's so many coaches.
I feel even now, both should sit together, thrash out the issues, because he is not terminated by the Sports Authority of India, who actually pays the check.
Okay.
He has to come back, run the team. Let this incident be just a passing incident.
Okay, I'll have to wrap here, completely out of time, but like both of my guests mentioned, there are two sides to the coin. It's up to you to decide who's right, but you know, I'll give you a hint. When this incident happened, Paul Van Haas has come on record and spoken to us and taken all our questions. We approached Mr. Narendra Batra to do the same. He refused to answer our questions. He just gave a statement. If he was so right, he would come across and answer all his questions, just as Paul Van Haas did. Anyway, that's all the time that we have on the show this evening. This is a big developing story. We'll keep following it.